Hey everybody, it's Saturday morning. I think I'll give the car a little bit of a wipe down before I take it out for a drive. So what I'm using here is a bead maker. It's kind of my go-to. Got a couple microfiber towels that I'll use as the main towel, and I'll keep folding these as they get a little dirty. And then this towel, which is really plush, I like this towel a lot. This towel is I'll use to wipe it down. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to tell you this one's, this kind of weight and this one's this kind of weight. I think I got them all at Obsessed Garage anyway, I believe. Today, I thought I would talk about where did my passion for driving, where did it all come from? Yeah, it all started with a bicycle. So I went ahead and saved up some money, ended up buying a Stingray bicycle. And some of you folks from way back when, you remember the bicycle with what they called a banana seat. And then some of them, I think we called it a sissy bar. So if you had two people sit in the seat, the person in the back could sit and lean back kind of thing. You saw them on motorcycles and stuff years ago. So it was that. And the reason I say the passion started for that was because with a bike, you had freedom. And what I mean by freedom is you could go where you wanted to go and when you wanted to go. So before, you were kind of at the mercy of wherever the heck your parents or family, whoever you were with, growing up with, wherever they were going to go, and they told you had to come along. You just had no choice, and you had to do whatever they were doing. Well, when you had your bike, all of a sudden, you had this ability to go. Oh, the car was already clean, by the way, so don't freak out. Washed. You had the ability to go where you wanted to go, when you wanted to go. So Mark and I, we would go out for these bike rides. And usually, they were just typically a few miles from home, and you drive around and you had a good time exploring, right? It was about exploring, and I called it discovering. So a few years go by, and we realize, we want to go further, right? We want to go on a longer bike ride. But the problem was, we did a longer bike ride once with these Stingray bikes. And let me tell you, they kicked our ass. Wore us out. Between the gearing and whatnot, they just were not designed for long bike rides. So we quickly learned that, okay, we need something else. So years go by. My 8th grade graduation, I ended up getting some money, and I used that money to buy a 10-speed bike. Now, back in the day, they may have had, high-end 10-speed bikes, but, this wasn't really the thing. This is back in the, mid-70s. And so the bike that I could afford at the time happened to be a Sears Free Spirit. And all of a sudden, it opened up this whole new world. So all of a sudden, we were going on bike rides that instead of being just, 5-7 miles, now all of a sudden they were like 15 miles, 20 miles. And then we got this brilliant idea of, hey, let's drive, let's ride 25, 30 miles. So we ended up doing that one year. Even on the 10-speed bike, it kicked our butt, right? And we weren't back in the day where, we had, energy bars and the gel things put in your mouth. No, we were eating, candy bars and soda, thinking that was going to keep us, hydrated and energy to go on this long bike ride. So anyway, it was kind of comical, I guess you could say, that, that was going to make a big difference, for eating that crap. So anyway, it was just going out and discovering new roads and whatnot. So I'm going to skip ahead here a few years. When I was in my mid-teens, a steam tourist railroad came into town and set up shop where we lived. And then towards the end there, I became an engineer and actually operated the steam locomotive for one of the summers years ago, which was a lot of fun. So I could say, I've operated a couple of different full-size steam locomotives over the year, and it was a blast. Let me tell you, it was. I really miss that. I mean, those things are alive, and it was a ton of fun. So anyway, guys on the railroad, the one guy, the engineer who kind of took me under his belt and taught me about the locomotives, how to operate them, right? Because there wasn't any manuals around that I could go read. How do I operate a steam locomotive? That engineer was into cars, and he had a 69 Olds Cutlass 442. Man, that was a nice car. He had the Hearst shifter in it and everything. So that was kind of my intro into cars. I mean, I had a Porsche 930, as I said earlier, in my room, but really getting into cars firsthand is when I saw this 442. Then right after I graduated high school, my dad got a job, in Washington, D.C. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. So I picked up a map, had my car, and before my dad was like, all right, enough of this stuff, you need to go get a job, I used to just go around and just drive on the roads. I'd stare and study at the map, and then I'd go out and I'd drive and I'd find out where all these roads went to. Again, that idea of freedom and exploration was always a ton of fun for me. And it didn't hurt that the summer between my junior and senior year, I spent working for a cartography office near where I lived. It was just clerical stuff, but the idea that I was around these folks who did understand and draw, back in the olden days, guys, draw these maps and whatnot, it was really cool. It was a really good, I learned a lot. And so that kind of got me into, the whole map thing and whatnot was really kind of interesting. So I was down in Maryland. I said, okay, I got to learn what the hell I'm doing, where I am. So get the maps, go out and drive. So that was just it. And then as years went on, between my family and then when I got married, and we would go on vacation with the kids, I was the official planner. So again, back in the olden days, you would get these AAA tour books, and then you would work with AAA and get a thing called a triptych, which was a series of maps that kind of folded out, and each one had your route, and it would tell you how many miles was on this page, and it would just give you some information about the route, etc. And so I used to love those things, but anyway, I planned all the trips and whatnot. So that was just what I really liked doing. And to this day, it's what I do. I mean, several of the events, some groups that I belong with, I put all the drives together. I usually always go out and scout the roads ahead of time, because I like to make sure that if I'm going to take people on roads, that they're going to be roads that, one, they're going to enjoy, and two, that those roads are, they're safe and in good condition, right? The pavement is good. I'm not taking them out on some gravel road or something like that. So anyway, that's kind of where it all came from. That's where the passion became, how I got into doing this stuff, and I love doing it. I love looking at maps, and to this day I'm still discovering roads and routes down in the Smoky Mountains where we go and where we ride. And I hope to keep doing that, and I hope people who go on the rides with me in groups that I lead, I hope they enjoy it. I hope they have a good time. Because I take pride in it, and I want people to have a good time. I want them to, you know, really get to experience what their car is capable of, even if it's not a Porsche, what that car is capable of, and they have a really good time. So I'll be talking, probably I'll have another video coming up where I'm going to talk about a little bit about high performance driving, and specifically how I got into it and things that I did as far as training goes, because you'll never get good at what you do unless you make a little bit of an investment in you. You can add all the modifications to your car. I'm going to put this horsepower, I'm going to put these wheels, I'm going to put this suspension, yada, 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 and you're gonna hit a plateau. You're gonna hit a plateau, guaranteed, and then you're gonna get a little flustered with that. So the best thing you could do is invest in you and invest in some coaching and training. I just was gonna throw this in that some of you guys have been asking me to talk a little bit about the garage. And so one of the things was on the floor. The flooring is, you know, the epoxy stuff, right? What I did here when I had the floor done is we actually had the seams filled in. So they put this, this material, some type of pliable goop that will expand and contract with, you know, the slab, if you will, so it doesn't create any cracks. So if you look at the floor, and when you see the floor, you won't see any seams in the floor. And then they'll put down whatever this polyurethane or whatever the heck it is, then these sprinkles, and then they go over top of that again with something else. I like the look. I know everybody's not into the look. Again, it's a personal preference thing. Some like, you know, like a Swiss track type of flooring. Some do this, some leave it bare and just seal the floor. You can also see along the edges, at least I think you can. I also did the places that were cement, like, so you can see under the molding there, you know, places where it was, you know, the cement, if you will. I just went ahead and had that all done. So cleaning this floor, so I just wipe it down typically with a, you know, a typical broom. And then when it gets dirty, right, like when you come back, if you're out driving in the rain, you know, the water comes off, or in the winter, you know, some of the slush and snow, it kind of leaves little marks on there. So there's a couple of things you can do. One that I actually been using that I like is Griot window cleaner. So I'll just squirt this on the floor. Sometimes I'll squirt it on the mop, and then it's just rub on there, and whatever it is, it'll just come right off. What I like about this mop is I like the handle, and the other thing I like is the length, right? You can see I'm not a tall guy, but this thing is tall, so like sometimes, you know, you see people, they're down, they're back. I mean, here you can, I mean, I could stay pretty upright while I clean this. This particular mop is from a company called Microfiber Wholesale, so you can look at those guys on Amazon. Another option, but I don't do because it's a little more expensive, is, you know, the hardwood floor cleaner. If you have hardwoods, Bona, I think it's pronounced Bona. You can also spray this on the floor as well, and it just cleans up. And what I like here is this thing will just go under the car too. I can get all around and clean and wipe stuff up. It does a nice job cleaning the floor. So that's a little bit about the floor. I'll show you some other stuff here in a moment. So that's it. This is all I use to keep this thing, keep the floor clean. And then some folks asked me also about the lighting in the garage. And so these are from Matt Mormon. I got these from Matt. These are the 4-bulb. Matt said, oh, put in, you know, 9 6-bulb. I'm like, good Lord, that's going to be, I mean, this is already super bright. The only thing here is that there are bulbs. You can see them like up above the doors. You know, Matt had suggested put those on another pole so you can turn them off, but it just got to be a real hassle when I tried doing it with the electrician, so I never bothered. Most of the time, the doors are closed, and let me tell you, it is like daylight. But Matt did help me on some of the spacing so that I don't get shadows. No, these aren't Sonic. These are just some, you know, whatever, closets by design, some inexpensive. But anyway, here's my craziness on microfiber towels and microfiber cleaner and some extra gallons of stuff from Obsessed Garage. I bought these stainless steel shelves. These are really nice. I really like these stainless steel shelves. And then all my, you know, Griot interior cleaner, window cleaner. Matt sold me on this stuff here, invisible glass. I'm a big advocate. I know a lot of people may not like it, but this Hydrate, when you work to dry your car, I mean, you could blow dry it, but I use this because I just like it, cleans it. I'm always trying different tire shines. I haven't got Matt's yet. I have to get Matt's, his stuff. I bought this. I bought a lot of stuff because of Matt. This stuff here, you probably saw this on Facebook, right? Advertising. This stuff is crap. I don't like it at all. This stuff here, some people brag about it. I don't like this. Ammo Spit Shine, Zano, I really do like Zano products. I used them a lot on my M3, and I like these. And one that I really like is hiding back here, but it's this Zano Z8. This stuff makes your car look like glass. I really like this. Don't ask me about durability and all that stuff. You can go to the experts for that. And then down here, just some, this is actually Griot in here, whatever. So anyway, rubber gloves, wash buckets, blah, blah, vacuum. I'm not thrilled with this vacuum. I'm gonna end up getting another vacuum. And then the best investment ever, this guy right here to sit on while you're cleaning the wheels on your car. So anyway, that's when you asked me about the garage. This door here, the reason this door is up to the ceiling or this one isn't, is I want to get a, not a lift, I'll call it a lift, but I want to get a stacker thing in here. I don't know why the hell I can't think of the damn name. But, you know, so that I can put one car up and put another car underneath, because we have 4 cars now in a 3-car garage. So, all right, guys, enough of blabbering. I hope you have a good Saturday. Peace.